Hello and welcome to Dressmaking Amore. I'm so excited to share with you how to sew this absolutely dreamy and simply exquisite silk skirt cut on bias. While looking for the perfectly shaped and fluid maxi skirt, I decided to make my own and create this gorgeous iris skirt. The A-line shape flows down gracefully from the skirt, which is finished with elastic for the most comfortable wear. It has darts at the back for a lovely shape, and thanks to it being cut on bias, it drapes perfectly as if it's just floating as you walk. An invisible zipper closure at the side completes the look. Of course, we'll be using my iris skirt PDF sewing pattern, so to follow along, get yours at the link below in the description. Now here are the materials that you'll need. And please refer to your instructional booklet that comes with your pattern to choose your right size and print and assemble the pattern perfectly, as well as follow the cutting instructions. And all the steps for the whole sewing process of the skirt are in there. Now for this tutorial, I'm using a sage green viscose satin fabric, and it moves and drapes beautifully without wrinkling, which is perfect for this maxi skirt. We're cutting it on bias, so carefully place down the paper pattern on your fabric following the grain lines shown on the pattern, and cut without moving around the slippery fabric. Our pattern pieces are the front and back, and the next step is interfacing one edge of the back, which is marked with the notches for the darts, and also interface the left side of the front piece. Okay, let's get to sewing. Transfer the dart points to both sides, making sure that the two are at the same spot and distance. Fold and pin at the marks and pin all along as a guide for a straight stitch so the fabric won't move. If you don't pin carefully, this will be curved, so make sure that this line is straight here. Now sew these darts straight down, and at the last few millimeters, sew alongside the edge of the fabric. Just like this. Check that it looks good, and if you like, you can tie a knot at the end. And move on to the next dart. Serge all the vertical edges of the skirt pieces. Pressing all the seams we just made, you want to press the darts towards the center. All of your seams should be pressed and cooled in the process, and pressing your fabric and cooling it with a wooden tailor's clapper takes away any heat and moisture, allowing the stitches to sort of embed into the fabric better. It gets rid of any weaviness that your fabric may have, leading to smoother seams, and makes sure that the fabric has the right shape. Now place the back and front right sides together, lying flat on a surface without stretching anything, and pin the side seams. It's really important to pin it before sewing so that the fabric won't move around before or while we're sewing. And at the interface side of the closure section, start pinning right below the mark. Sew one side seam starting from the mark at the interfaced side, sewing down, and the seam allowances are 1.2 centimeters. And then sew the other side seam fully. Press them open, cooling with the tailor's clapper, just like this. Place the zipper right sides together to the side of the skirt a few millimeters below the top edge and pin it covering the serged edge like this. Now we're going to sew this side. Changing the sewing machine foot to an invisible zipper foot and placing the teeth inside of it like this, make a back stitch and continue sewing, holding the zipper in place with your fingers as you go. Sew up to the beginning of the seam. And after sewing one side, close the zipper, and we need to mark where our zipper ends. So place the zipper straight on the seam, as it should lay, and bring the end up so that you can see where the seam ends, and make a mark on the other side of the seam allowances. Place a pin here, and then transfer these marks to the zipper tape. Unzip the zipper, placing the zipper inside that little hole here that we have, so that you can open it up fully, and pin along the tape. In this way, our sides will be even and there will be no puckering underneath the zipper. Now sew the other side, and as you sew, the zipper foot will unfold the teeth ever so slightly, so just hold the fabric carefully as you sew. You can see that the pins here are far enough from the zipper foot so that they don't get in the way. And make a backstitch and check the result. Beautiful. Now we're going to press it. And the zipper is installed. Take your elastic, which is as long as your waist measurement plus some seam allowances, and first mark the quarters of the elastic and the skirt waistline. After this, fold both edges of the seam allowances of the closure in towards the right side, pin, and now take the elastic, and here you can actually draw 6mm or 1/4 inch seam allowances to make this easier. We're going to pin the wrong side of the elastic to the right side of the skirt, placing it along the top. The folded seam allowances are underneath. Go all around the waistline, pinning it, matching the quarter marks we made previously. Then, with a zigzag stitch that's pretty wide, I set mine to 5 and the length is 2.5, sew the elastic from the right side of the skirt so that the stitch is casting over the elastic edge. Here's what that should look like. There's no need to stretch the elastic as the waistline of the skirt lays nicely underneath. You can also base stitch the elastic to the skirt before sewing it to help you concentrate only on stitching straight. As you can see, we sewed right on the edge of the elastic. Here's how it looks, and it's still stretchy. You may need to go over twice to get it right. When we fold it, the elastic won't be visible. So if your zigzag stitch is any farther from the edge, it'll be visible on the right side, but you can try and see how you like it best. But personally, this is how I like it. At the edge, the elastic doesn't go all the way, it stops where the zipper is, so that we can easily fold it and pin to hide the edge of the elastic. So pin, and we can go ahead and sew the zipper tape to the elastic, sewing straight like this. So we secured the elastic to the seam allowances of the closure, and if you need to, you can cut the corners of the waistline seam allowances here to make it lay flat. Zip up and see if everything's even. Now press the waistline, folding the elastic down to the wrong side so that the main fabric is visible just by about 2mm or 1/16 of an inch. This way the elastic is not visible at all on the right side. Perfect. We will secure the elastic so that it won't turn over while you're wearing it. From the right side, while the skirt is lying freely, pin the skirt to the elastic at the side seam and at the dart seams. We'll make little tacks of about 3 to 4 stitches right into the seams so that the elastic still stretches while staying in place where it needs to. We're going to sew right into the ditch of these seams, just like this. You can even do it from top to bottom here. Now cut the thread from the right side first and then from the wrong side. Here's what we have. Now at this step, try the skirt on and look for any unevenness at the hem edge. Some fabric may need this step more than others, but it depends on the quality and type of fabric. Even out your hem by measuring the distance from the floor to your skirt hem, and if needed, mark a new hemline and then trim off any fabric that's below that new hemline. Hem how you prefer. A baby hem will look beautiful here for a luxurious finish, but I'll go with the fastest and easiest option by serging the edge of the skirt, pressing it flat, and then folding the serged edge to the wrong side and sewing in the middle like this. Press the hemline. And of course, giving your entire garment a finishing press like always, we are done with our stunning iris skirt. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspires you to sew this lovely piece yourself. I know you'll love it. You can get the PDF downloadable sewing pattern that I used below at the link in the description of this video, and happy sewing!